What is going on, guys? Jason Burke here, Styles Clash for Life, coming at you on YouTube, and today I've got some football focus. I've been covering the Pittsburgh Steelers all off-season, so if you want to see all the free agents they signed, all the ones they lost, and several different videos about should Pittsburgh draft so-and-so in the first round, those videos are up. I did one for Omari on Hampton. I did a couple other ones. Check those videos out, but now is the time that I want to bring you guys my fantasy NFL draft for the Steelers. I'm bringing you guys my Pittsburgh Steelers mock draft, but not just one. I'm bringing you guys 3 different mock drafts in the same video. You guys seem to like this in previous years, so I'm basically going to bring you guys one kind of my dream draft, my best case personal scenario, a second draft, and a third draft, breaking down Pittsburgh's potential picks and their positions they're going for and their reasons why. In my draft, my commonalities, the number one priority, in my opinion, is defensive tackle. I really want to get one of those top 4 D tackles. Obviously, number 1 is going to be gone by the time we get to 21, but D tackles 2 through 4 are the clear first-round separation guys, the clear top-level guys. You really want to get one of those guys. The number 2 priority in this draft behind D tackle is running back. You got to get another running back that's going to play with Jaylen Warren. Those 2 guys in the first 2 rounds, or the first 2 picks we make, are going to play next season immediately. Warren is going to have somebody with him in the backfield, splitting those carries, and obviously somebody is going to play D tackle and ideally kick out Keanu Benton to defensive end and play in the middle for D tackle to improve both the pass rush and especially the run stuffing. So those are the big 2 positions. I also want to prioritize potentially another D lineman. We'll talk about that because Cam Hayward's going to be retiring probably next year. I'm guessing he's in the final year of his contract or of his NFL career. So we're going to need another defensive lineman for the future. We obviously would like another cornerback in the room because we did pick up Darius Slay as our next starter, but he's probably only going to play for 1 more season. So you want to get another guy that's going to be your long-term starter next to JPJ, just in case Corey Trice doesn't pan out. A couple other things you want to look at, too. Is there another receiver as a possibility, considering George Pickens is in the last year of his contract and he might not come back now that we've just signed a big contract for DK Metcalf for the trade and extension. So here's what I have. Let's go ahead and get into my 3 drafts. The number 1 draft, this first draft I'm going to give you guys, is kind of my dream draft, kind of best case scenario, best guys at each position for our draft, as realistic as possible, but I'm definitely looking at kind of the high-end talent in this draft. And I did this based on profootballsomething.com. It wasn't PFF because they make you pay for it. I did these kind of numbered rankings based on Pro Football Resolve or something like that. So I don't know how accurate this draft is compared to other drafts, but this is kind of what I got. So first draft, my dream scenario here is a trade back. So we obviously lost our second round pick by trading for DK Metcalf. So ideally, I would like to trade back somewhere in the 5 to 6 spot range. We're currently picking at number 21. I would like to trade back somewhere between like 25 and 30. So I would say, 4 to 9 picks. Somewhere between 25 and 30. Stay in the first round. Do not go out of the first round because you want to get that first round D tackle. You got to get one of those 2 through 4. One of those 3 best D tackles available in that range. If you don't, you've lost. So you can't go back too far. But you want to go back between 25 and 30 to get yourself back in the second round. Recoup your second round pick so that you can kind of take a big need off the board. So in this first draft, I traded back into the top, like 28, 29, somewhere in there. And I got a second round pick. I got pick 53 in this draft as well. So I got myself back in the second round by trading back about 7 spots. And my first round pick, I got Derek Harmon from Oregon. He is, in my opinion, the 4th best defensive tackle, but he is still a first round talent. He is a guy I'd be very happy to get. Big time run stuffer, big time motor, and I think can also play on the defensive end spots if he has to, but ideally he plays a tackle this year and bumps Keanu Benton out, and then you can see for next year kind of who the best the best kind of placement is for this roster for next season. But Derek Harmon is a really good value pick as the 4th best D tackle, first round talent. Get him first overall in the first round, and then with pick number 53 in the second round that I traded to get, I would pick up Travion Henderson. I think he is the best of these second round backs. I've honestly got him ranked as the second overall best back in this draft. I love Amarion Hampton, but I think Henderson's better overall. I had him ranked number 1 in the country 2 years ago. I think he fell back a little bit this year, but he's got blazing speed. He's got underrated power with contact balance. He's the best pass catching back in this draft, and I think he's a solid blocker in terms of pass protection. So I think he's got it all, and I think he's one of the most Pittsburgh Steelers system ready running backs in this draft. I think picking him up at 53 is a very good value pick, and I think he is a day one player on this team. He can split carries and be the third down back for Jalen Warren on this team. So 53, round 2, I'm picking up Travion Henderson from Ohio State. What a Steelers player he is. Speaking of Steelers players, I really, really like this guy in the 3rd round. He is undervalued here. He's been going at like 105, 106 in this website draft that I was on. Noah Williams from California, the cornerback. I like Noah Williams. He is ranked pretty high in my like 2nd to 3rd tier cornerback room. I think round 3, pick 83, Noah Williams. He's a sticky cover guy. He's got underrated speed. I think he can do some returns here and there. The dude's an absolute hitter. He's one of the best hitting corners in this draft. He's probably in the top 3 best tackling corners in this draft. You get a guy that can run up and pursue the running backs, a guy that can hit in coverage, and a guy that can cover as well. He's explosive. He's super strong. I like Noah Williams. He's a big guy for an undersized player. Plays very big, and I think he is undervalued in like that 100 to 110 range. I think he goes somewhere around 83 here. I like Noah Williams. Round 4, pick 123. Here's where I'm going quarterback. I'm not picking too many quarterbacks in these mock drafts because you know what? They're all reaches. I'm not going to reach. I've seen the whole Jackson Dart going 1st round. I've seen Jalen Milroe going 2nd round. This draft reminds me of 2022. This reminds me of getting Kenny Pickett in the 1st round, and now he's on his 3rd team, and he's cut 2 years later from our team. That draft was not good. Those guys didn't pan out besides Brock Purdy, who was drafted last overall. This draft looks similar. And to me, Quinn Ewers is the 2nd best quarterback in this draft. For my money, of all those second tier guys, I think Ewers is better than Dart. Personally, it's unpopular to say. I think Ewers is better than Shedeur Sanders, to be honest with you, who's not going to fall to 21. I'd pick up Quinn Ewers here. As far as a 4th round quarterback, that is where these guys are valued at, that 3rd to 4th round spot. I think you're getting a steal in Quinn Ewers in the 4th round. I think he can compete this year to potentially get on the field. And if not, you can always pick up his other quarterback next year or somebody else next year. But Quinn Ewers, I think, is the 2nd best quarterback in this draft. That's not saying much, but it's still higher, way higher than he's expected to go. And I think 4th round is a good pick for him. 5th round, pick 156, I'm going safety Malachi Moore out of Bama. I think he can do the occasional return. I think he can play slot corner. More importantly, at safety, the dude is very underrated. I think he's maybe the most underrated safety in this draft. I know we have 3 safeties on this team, but there's a lot of talk about, like, are we going to wind up extending people next year? Is Minkah Fitzpatrick going to get a big money extension? Is he starting to fall off now after the last season and a half? The guy we signed, I'm forgetting his name off the top of my head right now. We signed a 3rd safety in free agency to a 1-year deal. He's an older guy, proven but older. So for the future of safety and for different kind of multi-safety packages, some different dime looks, some slot corner, Malachi Moore is a very good value guy at the 5th round. Got experience. He's a hitter. He's a physical player playing for Bama. I like him a lot. Round 6, pick, where are we at? 185, pick 185, round 6. Vernon Broughton, D-tackle out of Texas. One of the priorities for me here is doubling up on D-line. Like I said, you're going to want a true D-tackle this year to bump Keanu outside, but you also are going to want to get a future replacement at some point for Cam Hayward, who doesn't have much time left. So you're going to have to replace 2 spots on that line along with Benton. You want to get younger. So I think this is the way to go. Vernon Broughton could wind up being kind of the guy that stays inside at D-tackle, and you bump out Derek Harmon next year to end when Cam retires. Vernon Broughton is a big, physical, wide guy that could just take up the space He's got that Casey Hampton kind of big man mentality. Good motor for a guy that size, but a good run tackler. You got to get better in the trenches. You got to start getting better on getting off the field on third down, stuff in the goal line, letting guys get behind the chains, getting tackles for a loss. Vernon Broughton is a big physical guy that's got a nasty attitude. And I think of all the kind of mid-range value D tackles from round 3 to 5, I think Broughton's one of the best. I like him here in the 6th round, good value. 7th round, pick 229 for my dream draft is Jimmy Horn Jr., the wide receiver out of Colorado. Deep threat, doesn't have a really big kind of a route tree yet, but he's kind of sized more as a slot guy, but can play the outside. Has got a little bit of size to him. Is a deep ball kind of guy, kind of George Pickens with a little less edge right now, but I think for a guy like Horn to go in the 7th, he's got a bigger name. He's got some pedigree with his dad, obviously. I think he's got potential to be one of the big 7th round steals in this draft. And again, we got to address the potential that George Pickens could be gone next year with another outside guy. Horn can play outside, and that's why I like him. This draft has a lot of receivers, but the highest end talent is not here this year, and it's mostly slot guys. Guys like Luther Burden, guys like Matthew Golden, very talented, but they're smaller slot guys. Horn can play outside. Horn can be a deep threat and can be part of the future of this team. So that's my dream draft. Harmon, Travion Henderson, Noah Williams, Quinn Ewers, Malachi Moore, Vernon Broughton, and Jimmy Horn with a first-round trade back to get a second-round pick. That's my best-case scenario. Number 2 draft, here we go. I stayed put for these last 2 drafts. I didn't do a trade back in 2 and 3. Draft 2, round 1, pick number 21, Kenneth Grant from Michigan. He is my number 1 overall pick. He's the guy that I want the most. If we're staying put at 21, if I could have anybody in this draft realistically that could be there at 21 and be honest about it, Kenneth Grant is the guy that I want. He's the best D tackle in this draft as far as surefire guys. The number 1 guy obviously is going to be gone by then. So of the guys remaining, Kenneth Grant is the most sure, most solid player at that spot. I'm going Kenneth Grant. Round 3, pick number 83, DJ Giddens from Kansas State. Dude can catch passes. He's really fast. He's a really good, making cuts. Good patience. He's got kind of a Le'Veon Bell style, and his patience can find the hole after waiting some time. Good guy. Once he turns on the second gear, he's got a gear. Once he makes a cut and gets around the edge, he can really turn the speed on. I like Giddens a lot. Again, this is the deepest running back class in a long, long time. I was very tempted to go Cam Scatterbo here. I know you guys don't like Scatterbo because you say he's slow and he only had 1 great season. We'll talk about him a little bit later, but I wound up taking Giddens here, but I'd be okay with Scatterbo or really any number of potential third-round backs. Bashal Tootin has been running up the boards a lot. I like him. There's about 12 or 13 guys that I'd be okay with in the 3rd to 4th round running back range who I think could get some playing time this season. So I took Giddens here. Round number 4, pick 123, I'm going Quincy Riley, cornerback out of Louisville. I think he's a really good one at this time in the class. Really enjoyed him. Round number 5, pick 156, I'm going J.J. Peegs out of Ole Miss. Again, doubling up on the D-line. I like Peegs here as the best round 5 D tackle, in my opinion. Him and Vernon Broughton are right up there. I think Broughton suits our style a little better, but Peegs has a little more speed and a little bit more athleticism, in my opinion. Round 6, pick 185, I took Caleb Rogers, the offensive tackle out of Texas Tech. We do have to get more offensive line depth. We're missing that sorely. We did re-sign Spencer Anderson and Calvin Anderson, and they're just okay. They can play maybe swing tackle, but you need a true swing tackle that can step in case we get an injury or in case one of our 2 young guys playing in new spots don't come back healthy next season. We have Fatanu coming off a season-ending injury, never played in the NFL yet, and we have Broderick Jones moving over to his regular spot for the first time in the NFL. So you need tackle depth really badly. So I'm taking Caleb Rogers here in the 6th round. And then in the 7th round at 229, I'm taking LeJontay Wester from Colorado. I think he's maybe the most well-rounded receiver on Colorado that can run the most routes. Obviously, aside from Travis Hunter, he doesn't count. I'm looking at him more as a cornerback in the NFL, though he's going to play both. But I think LeJontay Wester could be a 7th-round steal, much like Jimmy Horn earlier. Then I'm going into my 3rd draft. I wanted to mix it up here and do something a little bit different. So first round, pick 21, I took Amarian Hampton. Again, he's like my 3rd to 4th best running back on this board. I have Henderson ahead of Hampton. I also have Caleb Johnson from Iowa ahead of Hampton, but Hampton is very, very good. His tape is very convincing. The dude breaks a lot of tackles. The dude's got a motor. I think getting him at 21 is realistic as the second best running back going in this draft. So if you're looking for a day one starter or a guy to go 1A, 1B with Jalen, Amarian Hampton's a good value there. Third round, I took Deon Walker from Kentucky. I think there are a lot of kind of edge guys that could play kind of left or right defensive end and also can bump outside or play D-tackle. He was listed at D-tackle on the site that I was on, but I've seen him listed at edge rusher a lot. So he's got positional flexibility. He can play on the outside or the inside. We need that on this team badly, and I like Walker a lot as like the 7th or 8th best D-tackle in this draft. Round 4, pick 123, I took Ohio State quarterback Will Howard. Not a big Will Howard fan, don't believe in him, but you do have to have another quarterback to fill out that roster. You can't just have Mitch and Skylar Thompson. You got to have somebody else on the roster. So I'm taking Will Howard here as a project guy who could be a career backup, in my opinion. That's like his high point, his ceiling. I hate these quarterbacks in this draft. I really do. Round 5, a guy that I found interesting. The pick I took here was Za Frazier out of UTSA. Underrated cornerback, a smaller school guy. Pittsburgh likes those guys, and he's feisty, so I think Pittsburgh would like Za Frazier. But a guy that I put down here as a guy that's interesting, that fell down the boards, much like Noah Williams is ranked way too low, I think this guy's ranked way too low. Kyle Monangai. Kyle Monangai is right in there with Cam Scatabo as a undersized but physical Pittsburgh Steeler type running back. I know we took Hampton here, so I'm not going to take two early on in the draft, but I think for a round 5 guy, Kyle Monangai is a round 3 talent to me. I don't know if it was bad numbers at the combine. Was he slow? I don't know what it is, but Kyle Monangai to me, one of the best pass catchers in this class, one of the best tackle breakers in this class from Rutgers. I like him a lot, and I think if he falls to round 5, even if you got 2 running backs on the roster with Kenneth Gainwell there also, I wouldn't be mad about taking him in a round 5 pick. That's pretty good value. Round 6, pick 185, Ricky White from UNLV. I'm not a giant Ricky White fan. I think he's a bit overrated. A lot of places have him going 3rd or 4th round. I think if he goes 6th round, he's one of your better steal options for a late round wide receiver. But if we're looking 3rd or 4th round, I wouldn't take him. I'm not as big on him as some others are. Round 7, pick 229, I'm going Brendan Crenshaw Dixon, the O-tackle from Florida. So I'm going, again, trying to fill out the offensive line and get some future prospects for offensive tackle. So those are my 3 fantasy drafts. Those are the mock drafts that I did based on the site that I was on. And again, I forget the name, so I apologize. Pro Football Reference, Pro Football something. Go check it out. If you type in Mock Draft Simulator, you'll find it up there pretty high. So what did you guys think of those drafts? Which one do you like the best out of these drafts? Which names do you like the best that I mentioned? How many underrated or overrated prospects do I have on my list? And give me your mock drafts in the comments. Give me some realistic ones. Don't give me Pittsburgh trades up for the first 10 picks in the draft. Don't give me 7 trades. Give me a realistic draft, which is what I tried to do here. Give me some drafts that Pittsburgh could actually make and some good value picks and late round finds, because I'm really interested in those. So tell me those in the comments down below. Please like, share, and subscribe to these Pittsburgh Steelers deep dives. Give me your mock drafts, and let's talk about it, because in 3 days from where I sit right now, it's Monday. On Thursday starts the NFL draft. I'll bring you guys multiple videos over the course of the weekend. Might have to finish up on Monday. I've got a wedding this weekend to go to and to officiate. But I'm going to bring you guys the early picks the day after the draft or the night of the draft. So stay tuned for Thursday and Friday's draft picks, and I'll see you guys soon. Take care and go Steelers.